Prepping the boat. What you'll need the rope that came with your parasail on some sort of rope management solution. This is about half the rope that came with my parasail on a extension cord reel. If you're going to do higher flights, you could get a synthetic. This is approximately 330 feet, 100 meters on the same reel. Our lake is limited to 80 foot of pull line, so we're going to use the original rope, and I'm going to put this over here. Okay, next, obviously you'll need a boat. This is a 21-foot ski boat, 300-ish horsepower. We've done it on as small as an 18-foot, 145 horsepower IO. You do want something to shield the prop, so a swim platform on a smaller boat. In this case, it's a ski boat, so the prop is well underneath the boat to begin with. In Pennsylvania, you can move about on a 21-foot boat, a 20-foot and above boat, while it's underway. So we wouldn't have that issue. But again, we've done it on 18-foot boats. Probably would have gotten in trouble if we got caught, but we did not get caught. You need the parasail in the bag as you put it in from the previous video. So you start by placing the parachute in the bag with the front facing forward. There's a time that we were concerned that the parasail would, as it was inflating, it would throw the bag out. So we would tie the bag down and stuff like that. With many attempts, and never losing the bag, we no longer do that. We just leave the bag set there. One thing I forgot is you need your M line, which is basically a line that's going to come from two tie downs on the left and right of the boat. We'll be using on this boat, we'll be using the trailer tie downs, and then the center pull, which is either your tube pull or your ski pull, depending on what kind of boat you have. So basically, the M starts down at the bottom, goes up to the parasail, back down to the ski pull, back up to the parasail, down to the other mount. I have effectively that same thing here. I have it set for my boat, so this will attach to the left or right. I then attach this device to the center pull, just so all of the moving ropes get out of the way or don't interact with my vinyl. If you're going to use your cleats, I have collapsible cleats. I used to use them, but obviously they get pulled up when you're doing this, and it's a snag point for the ropes of the parasail. So that's why I stopped using the cleats. You want this rope to be long enough for it, for when the person sits on the sail, they put weight on the sail to help you pull it down, but short enough that you can actually connect the person to it while they're standing up. Okay, so I'm going to install this. If you use carabiners, D-rings, whatever you want to call it, make sure they're rated, because you will be putting some reasonable force on this as you're inflating the sail. I'll probably have a whole nother how-to on this device, because it has the rated D-rings, it has length to it, it also has a weird set of carabiners that open like this and close like that. And I'll mention that later on. Okay, so that's all set. I then pull it out, and then you start pulling the parasail out of the bag. Make sure your yoke is set, doesn't have any extra twists in it. So this is, I believe, upside down. Okay. Your parasail should be set with color coding to tell you which is left and which is right. And then you connect that to the carabiner. Okay, next thing you're going to do, since we're using the so you just got to watch when the mount points rotate down. Just make sure when they rotate back up, they're gonna hit right. Okay, so we're using the standard rope. We're going to use the wake tower itself as a rope break. We found that this rope and the wake tower 3 times around is what you need to get a reasonable slip and a reasonable braking activity. So once around, twice around, 3 times around. You want the 3rd time around on the other side of the wake mount. I think I'm short one. Okay. And then you simply, now it's, when it starts taking out, or the rope starts coming out, you want to make sure that you keep an angle on it so you don't get this jumbling effect. If you do, your flyer is going to be stuck at whatever height you started or you got stuck at. So as long as you feed in and keep some tension on it from this side, it breaks nice and feeds nice. Okay, so we're going to do a standard bow line knot. Yeah, actually I'm going to put in a figure 8 knot. I'm going to pull it tight. And then I'm going to actually connect it to the parasail with a soft shackle. You don't want any metal in and around this area, just in case things break and whip back to the flyer. So the soft shackle is a synthetic rope based solution. I double it up. Okay, and then we're going to tighten it. And then we need to tie it off. This boat doesn't have a very good tie-off point, so I just use my wake tower And because of the rope breaking, you don't need to do this. This doesn't have to be an incredibly strong knot, because you're gonna have to undo it. Okay. Next, you pull out each of the lines. Up until the point that the parasail is starting to come out of the bag. Release your wire ties to undo the daisy chain, and expand all your lines. If you have a helper, they could hold on to that. In my case, I use that winch as a starting point. Do a little work to try and get the twisties out of your lines. And that's done. Everything comes up through the yoke.
Howdy.
Hello, Bill. I'm recording, so.
Oh,
What was that?
procedure.
Procedure. So, Bill is our driver. So obviously you're going to need a driver, a flyer, and a rope worker. A lot of setting the sail can be done. There's a camera, Bill. On the water, so you don't necessarily have to do it at the dock, but since we have the dock here, might as well. Then you take the sail lines and you put them over the wake tower in preparation for the inflation. Doesn't matter that it goes over the pull line. And then you get both elements equal in length. And then you pull the front two lines an additional about 1 foot. And that just makes it inflate, more likely to inflate. So once you pull the first one, you pull the second one to match. And get all the lines tight again. Oop. And then use your wire ties to tie that off so it can stay there. And then use your second wire tie to tie up the lower end to keep it from inflating while you're driving around. Okay, for the most part that's it. Now we need our flyer.